Richard. When I was a kid, should we say at sports, I was crap. Really crap. When we were in the playground, whenever we used to play football, I was that kid that was always picked last. And then they'd stick me in goal, purely and simply because I was fat, and they probably thought I covered more of the goal mouth and I might be able to save more goals. But no, I was still rubbish. I even joined the school football team. I was crap there too. I remember we played Ravensthorpe. We lost 10-0. All the team blamed me for letting in all the goals. I said to them, it's not just the goalkeeper's job, defenders as well, but nah, didn't accept none of that. It was all my fault. Now, obviously, a few of you would be saying, you don't sound like a northerner. Now, I've lived down in London for most of my life now, so I've, should we say, taken on a southern twang. So, do pardon me for my accent, but I'm a northerner at heart. I was born in Yorkshire. I'm White Rose all the way. Now, I had this neighbour, Auntie Anne I used to call her, a fiery, red-headed lady she was. Well, she knew I liked football, and one day she said to me, Richard, do you want to go see a football match? Oh, yeah, I'd love to. Who is it? She went, Huddersfield Town. Oh, yeah, I'd love to go. So me, Auntie Anne, and her son Simon went off to the match. Well, to stand in this stadium, it was the first stadium I'd ever been to, Leeds Road. Went in there and we were in the terrace with all the fans at first half, and they were all singing and shouting, and my Auntie Anne, she'd go mental. If a player made a wrong move, she'd go, what are you playing at? What are you doing? And if the referee was to give a foul, she'd shout, never ref, that was never a foul. You need your eyes looking at. It was so funny listening to her. But I couldn't understand the passion. I couldn't understand why she'd shout so much. But as time went on, I did. I got it. I understood. And I was the same. I'd scream, I'd shout. I'd tell the ref exactly what I thought, and I'd tell some of the players as well. Just had to remember though, I was crap at football. I'd never get on that pitch, so maybe they did know better than me. But I'd still shout, and I'd still have fun. I wanted to be at the back though, where all the boys in the terrace were singing and shouting. So when I got there, I'd sneak off, and I'd go up the back and start singing with all the other boys. We're blue, we're white, we're total dynamite, we're Huddersfield, we're Huddersfield. And I'd learn all the other songs and sing along with them. Oh, it was great fun. But in the second half, it used to get really quiet in the terrace, because all the boys used to go into the cowshed. That's where the real supporters went, into the cowshed for the second half. They'd stand in there and they'd scream and they'd shout. So, as time went on and I got a bit more confident, I snuck away from Auntie Anne and went into the cowshed with them. It was even funnier when it rained, because all the away supporters used to be in the open end. There was no roof over that, so they used to get soaking wet. It seems strange nowadays. You look at all the players that are about in the Premier League now. You've got Drogba and Rooney and Ronaldo. Alright, he's not in the Premiership, but you know, he's one of these top-end multi-million-pound players. In the days of Huddersfield Town, back in the 80s, you had the likes of Steve Kindon, Malcolm Brown, and Berkey. They didn't get that kind of money. Their transfer fee was probably a bacon sandwich and a packet of fags. But they were my heroes. And Mark Lillis, with his big woolly hair, I used to love watching those boys. Malcolm Brown, he always had these gangly legs. He was our winger, and he'd fly up the wing. Well, that first match was against Halifax Town. We smashed them 5-0. It was on the 5th of April 1980. I'll never forget it. Ian Robbins scored 2. Steve Kindon, he scored 2. One of those was a penalty. Banger, top left-hand corner. And Dave Sutton, he ground it in right at the end. The attendance at that game was 10,580, which was massive for a 4th Division team at that time. bearing in mind the average was about 3,000 to 4,000. What I didn't realise at the time was we were second in the league. I joined this season pretty much towards the tail end. Didn't really know too much. But yeah, we were in second. We really had a chance of going up. Well, I did every single home game to the end of that season. Final game was Hartlepool United on the 3rd of May. Robin scored 2. We won 2-1. Attendance 16,807. We'd made it. We were going up to the 3rd division. We were the champions of the 4th division. Well, for the next 3 years, we spent in Division 3. Until 1983, when we ended up 3rd in the league, won the playoffs and got promoted to Division 2. Stuck there for 5 years, and then in 1988, not a great year for Huddersfield Town, ended in 23rd spot and got relegated back down to Division 3. Stuck in Division 3 until 1992. Now 1992 is when the Football League totally changed. The Premiership started. The Big Boys League. What I wouldn't give to see Huddersfield in the Premier League. Yeah, that's what dreams are made of, they say. Now, I'm not here to give you a history lesson. If you're a Town fan, you know what happened. We floated around in Div 2, got knocked down to Div 3. Eventually, in 2012-2013, got ourselves into the Championship, one below the Premier League. We floated there for about 6 seasons, having the usual 19th place, 17th place, 16th place, 19th place. Yeah, we were just mid-table mediocrity until the 2016-2017 season. Now, the 2016-2017 season, bookies had Huddersfield Town odds on to get relegated. Well, it didn't quite pan out that way. First game of the season, August the 6th, 2016, Huddersfield versus Brentford. August the 13th, Newcastle versus Huddersfield. 2-1 to Huddersfield. It carried on that way. The ball started rolling. We were up there. We were up at the top. We even beat Leeds United at Leeds 1-0 on the 10th of September. Old rivals. Great result. Well, it went right through to the end of the season. We were in the playoffs. Oh my God. We had half a chance of getting to the Premier League. At the beginning of the season, we'd signed this manager, David Wagner. I'd never heard of him. Apparently not a lot of people had. But he came in, made some changes, worked a kind of magic. He even gave them this motto, no limits. I remember a pop song from the 90s called No Limits. But it seemed to work. The team knew that they could just do whatever they wanted. They had no limits. Well, it seemed to work. Now, there was only one team this season that really gave us any aggro. Fulham. I think we lost 5-0 Fulham and then 4-1 at home. But the way that the league panned out, we were in 3rd and they were in 6th. Now, with the playoffs, we'd end up playing Fulham in the playoffs. Not really a team I wanted to meet. Now, the final game for us was Cardiff City. And to lose to Cardiff, I thought, no, we're never going to lose to Cardiff, but we want to. Because if we can drop down into either 4th or 5th place, hopefully we won't meet Fulham. Strangely enough, we lost to Cardiff, and we did. We dropped down, and we never met Fulham. Reading met Fulham, and luckily Reading beat Fulham in the playoffs, and that left us with Sheffield Wednesday. Well, what a nail-biting game that was. First half, deadlock, end-to-end gear. It was 0-0 at first half. In the second half, Sheffield Wednesday broke it. Steve Fletcher, 51st minute. Sheffield Wednesday were 1-up. I can't believe we've got this far. And then we had a break. A bit of a scuffle in the penalty area. And there's an own goal. Tom Lee's 73rd minute puts us back in it. Oh my God. The fans went mental. Well, then we had to endure extra time. Well, once again, end-to-end gear, but no break to the deadlock. It went to penalties.
Is he going to be the player to send Huddersfield to Wembley?
A player who won the playoffs with Southend in League 2 a couple of years ago, thanks to a penalty shootout at Wembley. How much pressure on those shoulders. Jack Prem! Westwood has come up with the goods just when they needed him most. And Sheffield Wednesday may just recover their position in the playoffs.
Well, really, it's what Westwood deserves, because you'd read a lot of the Huddersfield penalties. I think when a left footer approaches the ball pretty straight like this, you're always going to whip it with your instep. And once again, Westwood reads it. It's a good height for him. He deserves a bit of luck.
Arguably the best goalkeeper in the Championship has stepped up again for his team. Here comes Fernando Forestieri, who has to score to send this to sudden death. He loves a goal against Huddersfield Town. How tense is this? Forestieri, saved by Danny Ward! Huddersfield Town, the annual strugglers who've become Premier League dreamers, are defying the odds again. The dream is on.
If you remember Nicky Weaver at Wembley after he saved the penalty in 2017, it's Danny Ward. It's a poor penalty though, really. It's a bit hit and hope from Forestieri. Talked about it throughout the shootout. Keepers reading the body language of the penalty taker. Danny Ward gets it right. And Huddersfield are on their way to Wembley. Extraordinary game.
Shattering for Sheffield Wednesday. The playoffs have proved a step too far for them again. Another year will go by with them trapped in the Championship. The Premier League dream is over for Sheffield Wednesday. But look at this from Huddersfield Town. They had no right to make the top six. They made the top six, and they've come to Sheffield Wednesday in the playoffs. They've seen them off. The Dreamers have beaten the Giants, and Huddersfield Town are going to Wembley.
The date was set, the 29th of May 2017. We were going to Wembley. Well, I had to phone my old mates up north, Pappy and Rick, see if they were going to make the journey down. Of course they were going to make the journey down. What else? Well, my mate Pappy also managed to get me a ticket at the same time. What a star. Well, I was at King's Cross to meet the boys. I see the trains coming in. A sea of blue and white walking down the platform.
This is the moment for Huddersfield Town fans.
What's your name?
Ollie.
Ollie, where are you from?
Guernsey.
From Guernsey?
Yeah.
So you've had a bit of a journey, a bit further than most of us?
By Manchester as well.
Yeah? So,
Well worth it.
yeah. What's the verdict for the score?
2-1 Town.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
On that a minute, so yeah.
Have a good day.
There's a team that's dear to its followers. They play in the bright, the blue and the white. They're a team of renown, and they're the pride in this town. Come on, smile a while. Come on, smile a while. Come on, smile a while.
So, where are you from?
Live near Lincoln now.
Near Lincoln?
Yeah.
Prediction for the score?
I think 3-1 to us.
3-1?
Solid.
I'm going to go 2-1 first.
Oh, 2-1's lead me at the moment. Have a good day.
On their way, and often you will hear them say, no one's gonna beat the town today.
Little man with his arm. What's the score then? What's it going to be?
2-1 to
Oh, it seems like 2-1 seems to be the favourite here.
We don't want to win by 2 minutes.
And the bells will ring so merrily, and every goal will be a memory. So town, play up and win the cup. Bring it on to Huddersfield.
Scores Huddersfield Town.
Come on, smile a while. Come on, smile a while. Come on, smile a while. Smile. Smile a while. Come on, smile a while. Come on, smile a while. Smile. The game of football is their delight. The game of football is their delight. The game of football is their delight. And the game of football is their delight.
So into the stadium we went, up what seemed like miles of escalators, right to the top of the stadium. We had seats in the lap of the gods, looking down on this hallowed turf, where hopefully Huddersfield Town were going to take it to the next level, the Premiership. The Premiership, Huddersfield Town. Never thought I'd see the day. But the boys came onto the pitch. The sound from the town fans was incredible. Over 40,000 fans had made the trip to Wembley. Bearing in mind, the Kirkley Stadium holds 24,000. That's twice as many fans that could fit into that stadium were at Wembley to see the boys in blue and white from Huddersfield Town. They came onto the pitch. As I said, it was just the most amazing sound I've ever heard in my life. Now, I've got to be absolutely honest. The game itself wasn't going to win any awards for flair. After 90 minutes, it was still 0-0. But I didn't care. The game itself was just monumental. Where we were, what we were playing for. It went into extra time. Once again, the deadlock couldn't be broken. It was still 0-0. I couldn't believe it. It's gone to penalties again. Now, the only thing in the back of my mind that was giving me that one bit of hope was Reading. Reading hadn't won at Wembley in the last few times that they turned up. Was this town's time?
A really expansive game, it would have played into Huddersfield's hands. So they may well feel that. You know, and we go back to the goalkeepers as well. There's no pressure on these goalkeepers. They produce one save and they're the hero. As Alex said, unfortunately there's going to be a villain today and they're going to have the worst summer of their lives.
How crucial is the toss? I'm not so sure it's going to make that huge a difference. You know, I think it's going to be a case of...
Would you not want to go first?
If I'm being honest, I don't think it really makes a difference, because if they miss first, then the pressure's on your next taker. If they score, the pressure's on your taker to then obviously go and score the next goal. So, it's cat and mouse now.
I think maybe which end as well is going to play into that, and judging by that cheer by the Huddersfield fans, it's clearly going to be down here, so we'll get a good view.
That's a bigger point, you know, which side are you shooting into? Because if your fans are behind you and you're stepping up to hit a penalty, they're going to be trying to help you as much as possible. If it's the other opposition, they're going to be trying to distract you.
Well, it's in the Huddersfield end. It's in the Huddersfield end.
It's in the Huddersfield end. Well, that's the noisy end, hence the back to Gaia away to saying, but yeah, absolutely right. So it's got to be the advantage. They've been noisy all day. There's a real generation now. I mean, it's all about emotions, isn't it? I think we're looking at perhaps the goalies, and I mean, Dave Best is there, isn't he? The Reading goalie coach. Wonderful experience at saving penalties is in crucial final, so a bit of experience there to bestow upon his goalkeeper.
Gut reaction, Keith?
I thought Reading would edge it. It's so tough to call. I'm going to stick with Reading, but toss of a coin.
Alex?
I fancied Huddersfield to win it. However, I'm looking at the goalkeepers. I think you've got a young one and an experienced one, and I think El Habsi has got a real habit of making crucial saves, and I would probably plump for him when it comes to penalties.
David?
Well, Huddersfield pre-match, and my gut's staying with it. I'm with them for the long haul, shall we say.
It is Reading up first in the Huddersfield end. There's so much riding on it. It is a horrible way to decide things, but there is nothing more exciting. Let's go back to Andy and Dan.
Thank you, Scott. Jan Kermigan, who exorcised a bit of a ghost in the semi-final against Fulham, is first to go up against Danny Ward. He really is doing his best to fill the goal. Long pause. Bottom left as we look in the semi. And bottom left again in the final.
Well, there's no hint of a Panenka with his penalty from Jan Kermigan. Deep breath. He picked a corner and he put his laces through the ball. Absolutely the right thing to do with the first penalty.
Well, it's the opposite challenge for the Huddersfield players. They took their penalties in front of the Hillsborough Cup in the semi-final, now in front of their own fans. But once again, it's Chris Lerber who will take the first kick. Left footer. Very cool indeed.
No, Germans don't tend to miss too many penalties. They certainly don't at Wembley.
Danny Williams, who has scored in a shootout this season in the early season against MK Dons in the EFL Cup. This a little more important, I would suggest.
Yeah, he's been truly inspirational. Reading standout performer at Wembley. Let's hope luck is on his side.
He did miss one against Villa earlier in the season. Consummate from Danny Williams.
You see the reaction of Danny Ward. He actually dives out of the way of the ball. This is virtually right down his throat if he stands still. The keepers, well, they can't take the risk. They've got to dive towards one corner or the other. And Danny Williams, that is very, very cool.
Showed Eden Hazard technique. For the keeper to go, stick it down the middle. Well, it's the same two that started the shootout for Huddersfield at Hillsborough. It's Hefele, who was a penalty taker in his Dynamo Dresden days. Oh, and now Hapsi with the save! But it was such a tame kick from Hefele.
Well, it is such a laboured effort. He really telegraphs where he's going to put this ball. Keepers work so hard on body language. There's not enough pace on it. He's really telling the keeper which way he's going to put it with the way he approaches the ball. He's a giant keeper, Al Habsi. That's a comfortable penalty save, really.
So joy for Reading. Al Habsi with his first major contribution. Liam Kelly, the substitute. Oh, battered into the net. Real conviction about that from a very talented young player.
Well, there was huge pressure here on Liam Kelly with the save just being made. Substitute coming on, trying to get to the pace of the game and then trying to hold your nerve and smash this home. That is a brilliant penalty at this stage.
If he fails, Mickey Wells, then Reading are only one kick away. But Wells has done it. Well, it's the same order so far as at Hillsborough. They're hardly taking their time. Liam Moore. Skies it! Well, if Huddersfield score, Reading's advantage will disappear.
Well, the pressure just got to him leaning back, well underneath the ball. How many times have we seen players under pressure smash the ball over the crossbar like that?
Aaron Moy scored in the shootout at Hillsborough, scored against Newcastle earlier in the season from the spot. Rolls it in, and we're all level again.
Well, he's Mr. Reliable all season long, Mr. Reliable from the penalty spot. Exactly the player you would want to take that penalty.
Well, this is where the pressure really does reach its height. John Swift can't look. They place their trust in Jordan Obita. Oh, and Ward produces the save! And now Huddersfield are on the brink.
Well, there didn't seem to be too much conviction there as Obita stepped up to take the penalty. It was a nervous penalty. Again, slightly telegraphed it. Danny Ward read it.
Christopher Schindler has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. And he takes that chance! season has the happiest ending. One of the most extraordinary stories in recent years. Little Huddersfield Town, the perennial strugglers, are back in England's elite. Devastation for Reading. Such a contrast. The most agonising way to lose. They thought their name might be on it after Huddersfield missed those chances in the first 90 minutes. But it was not to be. And Danny Ward again producing a special moment. Well, they won the battle for noise in the stands, and they have won the battle of wills in the penalty shootout.
Well, it might have been the cleanest penalty you've ever seen struck, but he found the back of the net. That's all that Huddersfield cared about. It's been an incredible season for both clubs. I'm devastated for Reading and Yapstam. The work they've done this season to finish third, absolutely incredible. But the way that David Wagner at the end of the season just started to tailor his plans in readiness really for the playoff campaign, he has got it absolutely right. We knew it was going to be a close call this game. Last kick of the penalty shootout. Huddersfield make it to the Premier League. What an extraordinary story.
In Heffeler's personal agony. Well, he's been right through the ring of Dean Oil, the German. Sir Patrick Stewart cannot contain himself. Oh, it was agony, even in victory for the German. But sheer delight. And the Huddersfield hero, Christopher Schindler from the spot. He's with David Craig.
Christopher, you've just scored a £200 million penalty. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's hard to say something to this feeling. It's unbelievable. I think we put so much effort in the whole season. In this game today, another 120 minutes. Yeah, and penalty kicks, it's always luck a bit as well. But I think we deserved it, and this feeling is unbelievable now.
In the making of this film, I've probably watched these clips over and over again. And no matter how many times I watch this, I can't help but get emotional. It's just... I was up there and I was crying. I was blubbering like a child. The feeling that was going through me and Rick and Pape at this precise moment in time, if you could bottle it, you'd be a millionaire overnight. I still have trouble putting the feelings I have into words. David Wagner, if you watch this video, I can only ever say thank you a million times over. And oh, Mr. Hoyle, you are a star. You took this team on, put your money in, you had the belief, and I hope this pays you back a million times over, because you have given everybody who turned up that day the feeling of absolute wonder. Thank you as well to all the team on that day, and to all the players that have ever played for Huddersfield Town. We thank you for giving us such pleasure and such joy, but the boys that were there on that day, you will never know how much we appreciate it. It was just the most amazing feeling on the planet. Huddersfield Town are in the Premiership for the first time in their history, and back in the top flight in the first time in years, and this is the most amazing feeling I will ever feel. It was the best day of my life. Thank you guys, thank you. Well, it was then just a case of going back to town, There was a homecoming parade. I was there. I was in St George's Square from about 1:30 in the afternoon. There was no way I wasn't going to get a front row seat. I travelled up from London just for the day, just to watch it. And it was incredible. The boys came in the open top bus. The speeches were made. The thanks were made to the town fans from the chairman, from the manager, and from the players. It was just incredible. It was just a whirlwind of a week. And Huddersfield Town are now in the Premiership. How we'll fare in the Premiership with the big boys, only time will tell. It's just incredible. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you now with just some of the memories of the homecoming parade and Huddersfield Town Premiership. No limits. Incredible. Thank you. Goodbye.
Michael, congratulations. Can you put this into words? Huddersfield Town in the Premier League.
It's now no half-effing dream. It has nothing to do with a dream. It's the reality. This team, these guys, everybody for them achieved such a big thing. We are now in the Premier League with Huddersfield Town. I think, what is this? Such a small club now in the best league in the world. That's just crazy.
I look into the window of my mind, reflections of the fears I know I've left behind. I step out of the ordinary, I can feel my soul ascending. I'm on my way, can't stop me now, and you can do the same, yeah. What have you done today to make you feel proud? It's never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? You could be so many people if you make that grab for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Still so many answers I don't know. There are so many answers. Realize that to question is how we grow. To question is to grow. So I step out of the ordinary. I can feel my soul ascending. I'm on my way, can't stop me now. You can do the same, yeah. What have you done today to make you feel proud? It's never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? You could be so many people if you make that grab for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Yeah, we need a change. Yeah, do it today. Yeah, I can feel my spirit rising. Change. Yeah, we need a change. Yeah, so do it today. Yeah. 'cause I can see you clear rising. To make you feel right, yeah. Let me hear you, let me hear you, let me hear you. So what have you done today to make you feel proud? Yeah, 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 yeah. 'Cause you could be so many people. Just make that breath for freedom. So what have you done today to make you feel proud?
We are Premier League, we are Premier League.
If you're ever up my way or you're passing through, you can take the A629 off the M62. I'm a local lad, so you'll understand. I know those roads like the back of my hand. If you're out on your own or you're lost and alone, if you like I could show you around. As the moon comes up and the sun goes down over Huddersfield town. From the George Hotel to the library, down past Station Street or in the LBT. Most afternoons I'll be hanging round there. You can meet me on the bench in St. George's Square. Of an evening we will ride upon Castle Hill and have one long lazy look around at the moon coming up and the sun going down over Huddersfield town. Now you see, no matter how far we decide to sail, home to me will always be Kirklees and Calderdale. Kathy came up from down south someplace. She brought a carry-all and a guitar case. She catched the time off the local cops. She made some change singing songs in the coffee shops. I heard her say it was far and away the most beautiful place she'd found. As the moon rose up and the sun went down over Huddersfield town. I heard her say it was far and away the most beautiful place she'd found. As the moon rose up and the sun went down like it does over Huddersfield